Hey everybody, Varun here from Language Academy. Guys, welcome back to another video. This video, we are going to look at IELTS Writing Task 2. One of the essay types a lot of students are confused about, what we refer it to as to what extent do you agree or disagree. What students are confused about, whether we need to discuss both the sides. Do I need to make two body paragraphs? Do I need to have a structure with three body paragraphs? What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to give you each and everything from task description to the connectors, lexical resources, and a structure and a template. If you follow these things, 120% your band score is going to go up. So make sure you take notes along the video and watch it till the very end so that you have everything you need to crack your IELTS exam in the very first go. What I'll be doing is I'll be sharing my screen. I'll be giving out the whole lecture, whole tutorial. It's going to be slightly long video, lengthy video, but I'll make sure it is worth it and the content is super powerful and will help you get your desired score. Let's get started. If you have any doubts, any comment, any feedback, anything you want me to work on, or any topic you are struggling with and you need help with that, do let me know in the comment section. Let's get started, and at the end we'll discuss a few more things. So we have got IELTS Writing Task 2. To what extent do you agree or disagree type of essay. We are going to look at task description, then we are going to look at tips, strategies, and structure, then proven template, and then I'm going to write one essay and tell you a few common mistakes. What happens in this, as you know, I'll go a bit slightly fast over here, quick over here. IELTS Writing Task 2 will require you to write an essay somewhere between 250 to 400 words. You'll have five different type of essays, and then to what extent do you agree or disagree is one of these. You'll need to write 250 words in 40 minutes. Remember this thing. An example is, some people think the spread of multinational companies and globalization produce positive outcomes for everyone. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Means we need to take a stand and then we need to provide the reason that yes, if I'm saying globalization is good for everyone, why it is, and if I'm saying it is not, why it is not. This is what, if you're taking the paper-based test, this is what your answer sheet is going to look like. Whenever you practice, make sure you practice on this so that you are aware of the sentences and you don't face any problem writing, and your handwriting is super clean and neat over there. What is the marking criteria? Writing task 2, you will be evaluated on 4 parameters: task achievement, lexical resources, coherence and cohesion, grammatical range and accuracy. Task achievement refers to whatever is stated in the essay prompt, essay topic, have you addressed each and everything. Lexical resources are basically your vocabulary. Coherence and cohesion is the flow of your essay. Grammatical range and accuracy means you have used a variety of sentences and your grammar is accurate. All the 4 parameters have equal weightage. Means let's say you have got, this will be 9 band, this will be 9 band, this will be 9, this will be 9. Let's say you get 8 over here, and then 7 here, and then 7 here, and then 7 here. So 7 plus 7 plus 8 by 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, you'll get somewhere about 7.5. So you need to make sure you maximize your score and you pay attention to all the parameters examiners are going to look at. I'll be explaining each and everything, each and every parameter, what task achievement means, what lexical resources are, what coherence and cohesion is, and grammatical range and accuracy. I am going to tell you what you need to do in order to improve your band score in each of these parameters. Let's get started. I have got a few notes for you. Task achievement basically, first of all, means that you understand the essay topic and then you are addressing everything in the essay topic. Sometimes what happens is an essay topic will have 3 things, right? XX dot XX dot XX. And then they'll ask you, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this? A lot of time what students do is they just address this part, or they'll address 2 by 3. They won't address or talk about this. That means yes, you have not answered the prompt properly. So you need to make sure you answer each and everything you have been asked about in the essay topic. You need to stay on topic. You need to write relevant ideas and information. It's not that you're just journalizing things. Let's say they have asked you about social media. You cannot just write about internet. You need to talk about social media in particular. Understand the task or prompt. Prompt means the essay topic. When you are reading the essay prompt, you need to make sure you underline the keywords so that it is very easy for you to identify what different parts are there in the essay and what all you need to address. Whenever you give any idea, you need to make sure you explain or support it with evidence and give examples. Don't try to mention everything in a single sentence. Address all the parts of the question and then make sure you write around 300 words. Don't write a lot. I won't say go up to 400 words. I won't say write exactly 250 words. Anywhere around 200, 280, 290, 300, 310 words are fine. And then the most important thing, before you start writing, I see a lot of students, what they do is as soon as they get the answer sheet, they do not want to waste even a single minute, and they start writing all of a sudden. Please give yourself time. You have got 40 minutes, allocate and use the time efficiently and properly. You need to make sure that first you have to understand the essay prompt, because if you start writing, what happens is students, they think that yes, I've written this essay. They won't even worry about reading it carefully, and IELTS is very clever. What they're going to do, they're going to change the essay topic slightly and you are going to go off topic. Please spend 2 to 3 minutes or around 4 minutes to read the prompt, understand it, and then have a mind map that yes, this is what I need to write in introduction. This is what I'll write in body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and this is how I have to conclude. So if you have your ideas ready in the beginning itself, what will happen, you will not need to think while you're writing, and that will make your job super easy. But if you need to think while you are writing, what will happen, you'll write an idea, then you will get a better idea, you'll erase the previous idea, you'll write it again, you'll waste your time, you'll be nervous, and you are going to mess up even the things you are well prepared at. So you need to make sure you keep calm, comfortable, think of a few ideas and then start writing so that you do not mess up anything. So that was your task achievement. Now let's have a look at your lexical resources. What do we mean by this? Basically, vocabulary. Remember this thing, it's not a completely formal exam, but they are not expecting you to write informal words. You need to make sure you use formal words or somewhat semi-formal words. Use a range of vocabulary, use synonyms, but don't repeat the same words again and again. And don't just try to use synonyms unnecessarily. For example, if I have to write something about government, I don't really have a lot of words which I can use instead of government, right? So you can repeat few words if you're not really sure about the synonyms, because if you write some other word which doesn't really makes any sense, you're going to mess up the meaning and the task achievement part. So only add or replace words when you are 100% sure that the usage is correct as well. Use collocations. Collocations are words which native speakers speak together. It is highly recommended. I'll take a quick shower. It is highly likely, something like this, right? But make sure you use correct word choice. Make sure you're very careful with your spelling, and you use either UK or US English. Don't mix. You can use either, but you cannot mix. UK is somewhere which we use in subcontinent in South Asian countries. For example, we write color COLOUR, US we have COLOR. So UK basically has got long words and words with S. This one has got short words and words with Z or Z. Don't write very good. Don't write very bad. You can write horrible, worst. Instead of very good, you can write outstanding. Instead of very fast, you can write at a thundering speed. Swiftly, you can say. So avoid very. This is going to harm you in your lexical resource. So basically what lexical resources are, avoid repetition and use formal words. That's what you need to worry about. Next parameter is coherence and cohesion. This basically means flow of your essay. That yes, as a native English speaker, if I am reading your essay, I am comfortable and I am able to go along with your ideas. It's not that you have written something here and the next sentence is not at all related with the previous sentence. So there should be a relation, there should be a correct flow so that you can relate the ideas. You need to make sure you have a relationship between sentences and paragraphs. Now, how do you relate your sentences and paragraph? You need to make sure you use connectors. For example, if I have to tell you something about my friend Rohan, right? I'll say Rohan, I met Rohan 3 years back. He is a very good soccer player. He also likes to play tennis. So what I did is first I used Rohan and then I replaced Rohan with he and then he also. So you need to make sure you don't just say Rohan. I met Rohan 3 years back. Rohan plays soccer. Rohan plays tennis. No, he plays this. He also does this. Moreover, I'll give you a list of connectors and phrases. Make sure you use those are going to help you boost your vocab, your lexical resource, your coherence and cohesion, and certainly your band score. So don't just add connectors unnecessarily, but try to add wherever possible. That is going to help you for sure. Alrighty. If you have a look over here, focus on the flow and use logical paragraphs. Means if you're writing introduction, then you're writing body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, body paragraph 4. Now, your introduction will be slightly short as compared to your body paragraph 1, 2, and 3. And so will be your conclusion. Your BP1, body paragraph 2, BP3 will be of similar length. Yes, this can be 4 sentences, this can be 5 or 3 sentences, but it cannot be the case that this is 5 sentences and over here you're just writing 2 sentences. So you need to make sure you write logically, short introduction, slightly short, and then similar length body paragraphs and slightly short conclusion. Use connectors and pronouns to demonstrate or refer things you have discussed, but don't overuse connectors. That will make your essay look very vague, and a native speaker or anyone won't be able to go along with it and will not be able to understand. And avoid standard pattern. Furthermore, moreover this, be logical and use connectors wherever they'll make sense. So coherence and cohesion, use phrases and connectors but do not overuse, and make sure you structure your essay properly. And finally, we have got grammatical range and accuracy. We have to first of all make sure there are two parameters here. First one is grammatical range and the second one is grammatical accuracy. Grammatical range means you are using a variety of sentences: simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, interrogative sentence, and so on. You can repeat simple sentences twice, but you can't just write simple, 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 simple all over again. That will represent that you have limited hold over your sentence structure and you cannot efficiently frame sentences in different sentence or grammatical range. What you need to do is you need to use range of sentences plus, to fulfill the criteria of grammatical accuracy, you need to make sure whatever sentences you frame, whatever language or words or sentences or paragraphs you're writing, those are grammatically correct as well. There's no point of writing a compound or a complex sentence with 10 grammatical errors. Yes, you have to use variety of sentences, but you need to make sure you use or structure the sentences in an accurate manner as well. All right, so variety of sentences, but do not complicate. Don't just write a compound sentence again and again and then have 10 grammatical errors that will impact your grammatical accuracy. Be very careful with your punctuations. This is where I see a lot of students going half a band down. You do not use full stops, you do not use commas after connectors, you're not really sure when to use question mark. So make sure whenever you end a sentence, if it's interrogative sentence, question mark; if it's a simple sentence without any question, full stop; after a connector or after a clause, you have to use a comma as well. Be careful with your tense and make sure you at least use active and passive voice. So if you're just writing active voice everywhere just to, you know, boost up your grammatical range, frame a sentence in passive voice as well. I'll give you an example of this particular thing when I write the essay. And be very careful with your tense. It's not that you're just mixing up everything, you're not really sure which tense you have to write. If they're asking you about past, you have to write in ed or past form. If they're asking you about future, you need to write it in future. Be very careful about this. So 4 parameters: Task achievement, read the essay prompt and try to cover everything. Lexical resources, avoid repetition, use academic words. But do not just use words, make sure you use them correctly as well. Then you have got your coherence and cohesion. Focus on the flow, use phrases, use connectors, and make sure you use them properly. Do not overuse them. Don't just keep on adding them, even if they're not making any sense. For example, I won't say I like to play tennis, moreover I play cricket, furthermore I do this. It won't really make sense over here. Furthermore, you're more likely to use when you add on an event, right? So be very careful and understand the use of connectors. And after that, the last parameter we just discussed is your grammatical range and accuracy. Frame variety of sentences, but do not complicate, and make sure whatever you write is grammatically correct or accurate. And that is how you are going to boost your band score. Let's move on to the structure now, and let's have a look at the question of the day. Alrighty. Structure of the essay. First of all, I normally recommend two body paragraphs in problem solution or other types of discussion essays. But to what extent do you agree or disagree? It should be disagree here. Very sorry about that. To what extent do you agree or disagree? We have to take a diplomatic approach. You don't just say you can, but it's not recommended. Just to boost your band score and show this, you have got a few ideas on both the sides. We'll take 70-30 approach, 2:1, 2 is to 1. So we'll discuss both the sides, but we will be in favor of, let's say, the side A and side B. Let's say I am in favor of A, so I'll be explaining this twice and this only once. And then I'll be saying that yes, even though this is important, this is even important, or we cannot ignore this. So whatever side you are taking, you'll have two body paragraphs for that and one body paragraph for the other side. We'll be having three body paragraphs here, plus one introduction and a conclusion. Introduction will be around 2 to 3 sentences. I generally, find it comfortable to frame 2 sentences. In first sentence, you just paraphrase the topic statement, and second sentence, journal statement about the topic, which is optional. I won't be writing this. And third statement, your thesis statement. I'll give you a ready-made statement which you can use in any essay you get. Body paragraph one, first reason of your position. Let's say you are saying I agree with A because of X. So you'll be explaining X over here. Another reason is Y. You'll be explaining Y over here. And for B, you've got one reason, which is Z or Z. You'll be explaining Z over here. Body paragraph one, you will open or you'll present your first reason. You'll explain that reason. You'll give an example to that reason. For example, I'm saying it is good to play sports. Why it is good to play sports? Give an example and then conclude why it is important to play sports. Otherwise, what you can do in 4 sentences, you can explain your reason. Instead of conclusion, you can give further explanation as well. Body paragraph 2, same thing, second reason, explain the reason, give an example, and then conclude. Body paragraph 3, the other side, the opposite side, we'll give one idea, we'll explain the idea, contradicting side, then we'll explain it using an example, and then we'll conclude it. And then conclusion, 1 to 2 sentences, conclusive statement, which I'll give you, you can write as it is, and then one optional statement. Let's have a look at today's topic and then write an essay with the phrases and the ideas I've got. Government's investment in the arts, such as music and theater, is a waste of money. Governments must invest this money in public services instead. To what extent do you agree with this statement? So what the statement is, let's analyze this. Government's investment, the money government is putting in arts, including music and theater, is of no use. Instead, government should invest or put in money in public services. What are public services? Buses, train, transportation, water, electricity, things which general public uses or utilizes in day-to-day life. To what extent do you agree? Do you agree that yes, it's a waste of money, or do you not agree or you disagree that it's not a waste of money? Let's see what we have got. I say yes, both are important, but one of the statement is better and government should be paying attention to that. We have to first of all write introduction. We have to first of all write introduction. How to write or start introduction. We all know how we have to structure. The problem, what is the problem? We all know I have to write introduction, I have to write body paragraph, and we have the ideas, but we don't really know how to structure the ideas. So these phrases will help you put in all your ideas and have a perfect structure and logical sounding sentences, which are going to certainly boost your score. All right. Let's have a look here. How can you write the first sentence? If you remember, I told you in the first sentence, you have to paraphrase the topic. You have to paraphrase the topic, means you have to write the topic, but in different words. Paraphrasing means, yes, you write, meaning is same, but you're using different words. In the modern world, it is often argued, or it is often thought that whether government should invest in music or they should invest in public services is a controversial issue. There's a currently contentious argument whether government should invest in public services or music. In the ultra modern era, many people claim, so you can use any of these phrases, please note these down. Then we have got thesis. Thesis, how do we structure the thesis? While I do admit to a greater extent that is it is important for government to put in money to look after music and theater, the importance of public services cannot be ignored. Both the perspective have their own reasons. However, I personally believe that public services are vital for the growing society. From my perspective, public services or investment in public services seems to be more rational, but with a few exceptions. So I'm saying, yes, I'm taking the side of public services, but there are few exceptions, means there are few benefits of the other side as well. So you can use any of these statements as well, these phrases as well. Now let's have a look at our introduction. We have got these keywords: government's investment, arts, music and theater, waste of money. They should invest their money in public services. First sentence, we need to paraphrase this. In the modern world, it is often argued that. So this is the phrase. Governments, I don't have any alternative for governments, I'll just use it. Should spend, instead of invest, spend their funds, money, funds on public services instead of spending or investing, allocating their resources in arts, including music and theater. Practically speaking, if you use Google, you can probably find an alternative, but if you are taking an exam, you won't really be able to recall an alternative for the word music. So that's why I am trying to be as practical as possible, what you can easily do while you are taking your exam. So this is one statement. I've got another example for you. Whether governments should spend their funds on arts such as music and theater, or spend their funds instead of invest spend their funds on arts such as music and theater, or focus more on public services such as public health and education. So I've added two examples over here just to elaborate this particular thing. Is a controversial issue. Thesis statement means the next statement of your introduction. While I do admit to a greater extent that it is important for the government to budget instead of invest, government to budget and look after public health and well-being. Public, instead of public services, public health and well-being, the importance of arts cannot be ignored. So if we combine these two, in the modern world, it is often argued that governments should spend their funds on public services instead of allocating their resources in arts, including music and theater. While I do admit to a greater extent that it is important for government to budget and look after public health, the importance of arts cannot be ignored. So I made it clear that yes, I agree that it is important to spend on public health or public services, but music is somewhat important as well. Or from my perspective, allocating funds towards essential services such as health and education seems to be more rational, but with a few exceptions. So this is how your introduction is going to look like, and I'm pretty satisfied with the first one, and I'll move on. Now comes your body paragraph. How do we write body paragraph? One, we have to start our reasoning and we have to open up our ideas. You can say, first of all, you can say, to start, the primary reason of my agreement with the statement above, one of the key reasons, it should be reasons here, one of the key reasons behind my agreement is that, first and foremost, I deem that, means I believe that, or I am in preference of, in the first place. So this is your opening statement where you will present your idea. Then second statement will be elaboration of this idea. Let's say I'm saying that it will keep people healthy. I'll explain why it will keep people healthy. Now, these phrases are going to help with our coherence and cohesion and lexical resources, but we have to be very careful with our grammatical range. So the explanation or elaboration statement will try to make it a complex sentence. We'll use this structure not only but also. To elaborate this further, or to elaborate further, this will not only help with this, but will also help with this. To clarify, to elucidate, to substantiate, to explain this further, this will not only help with reason one, but will also help with reason two. I'll write or structure body paragraph one that will give you a better idea. Now, example, you can say to cite an example, as an example, the best example of this scenario, for instance, make sure you use a comma after all of these, and here as well. And then for sentence conclusion, therefore, hence, so, thus, as a result, please use a comma over here. Otherwise, you're going to mess up your grammar. So have a look at what I've got for your body paragraph one. In the first place, first sentence, we are just introducing our ideas. The key reason behind my agreement is that, so this is the phrase, spending funds towards public services such as education and transportation. So this is again kind of words, or few words which I've taken from the prompt, will lead to the development of the individuals and country as a whole. So one reason is that if the government is going to spend towards public services, it will lead to the development of the nation. To elaborate this further, spending on education will not only, see, complex sentence, spending on education, I'm explaining this particular part. Spending on education will not only increase the literacy rate in the country, but will also help the citizens to secure a good job and career. So by spending on education, you will not only increase the number of educated people in the country, but they will also be able to get a good job and will have a better career. Now I am explaining this further. This is an optional sentence. This is an optional sentence. Remember this thing. If you are confident and comfortable and you can think of this, you can write it. Otherwise, you can straight away come to example. Also means I'm explaining this particular idea. By attending school and college, students will be able to improve their interpersonal and communication skills, which can help them in their profession. Instead of job, I use profession, interpersonal, and communication skills just to boost my vocabulary. For instance, now whenever you give the example, you don't really need to give kind of logical examples or somewhat of real examples. You can just frame a story by yourself. No one is going to actually check whether your example is logical or true, but yes, it should be logical to the context and should be related to the essay topic. What we have got in the example over here. For instance, a survey conducted in 2006 by the government in the United States reveals that. So this whole statement you can use in any essay. The average income of a person who attended college was 3 times the income of a person who did not. Means a person who is educated earned 3 times as compared to a person who is not. So I just made this example by myself, but this is again related to literacy rate in the country. Therefore, investing in essential services instead of public services, essential services. Therefore, investing in essential services will help the society and lead to overall progress of the nation. So first of all, I introduced that yes, it will help if the government spends on public services such as education, it will lead to the development of the country. To explain it, it will increase the literacy rate and people will be able to get a better job and earn better. Example, in US, an educated person earns 3 times as compared to a person who is not, and that thus or therefore investing in essential services means public services will help the society and lead to overall progress of the nation. This is my idea one, that yes, it will help with education and transportation. Education I have explained over here. Now, next paragraph, we have to talk a bit about transportation. What you could have done is you could have just written education here as well. That would have been fine as well, because we didn't talk much about transportation over here. So even if you don't write, even if you write, it's fine. Even if you just write education, that's fine as well. Secondly, now why I'm using secondly, because I want to relate this with the previous. In the first place means one reason, second reason. Investing in public services such as building new roads and transportation system will improve the quality of life of the citizen. So one reason why they should be investing in public services, it will improve the quality of life of the citizens. Now I have to explain it further, that how this will improve or increase or make the quality of life of the citizens better. To elucidate or to explain this further, the construction of better infrastructure instead of roads infrastructure in the country will reduce road accidents, along with along with, just to make it slightly lengthier sentence, along with reducing the time spent on commuting. Instead of traveling, commuting. Remember this thing. This is again an optional statement which you can use to explain this further, right? This will simultaneously, remember this thing, side by side, reduce any kind of uncertainty and will increase the happiness index of the nation. Even if you don't want to write it, that's fine. You can come on to the example, because otherwise it can be too lengthy for you. So the reason over here is that it will improve the quality of life of the citizens. Why? Because it will reduce the accidents and uncertainties. The best example of this notion is Nigeria, where traffic incidents went down by 20% after the government initiated the road maintenance program. Now, if you look closely, R, M, and P, I've capitalized these three words because this is name of a program. So in Nigeria, where traffic incidents went down by 20% after the government initiated the road maintenance program, under which all the highways were repaired. Thus, investing in public services, including the maintenance of the transportation system, will greatly influence human life with great efficacy and efficiency. Note these words down. You can use these two words of collocation in any positive context. Spending on internet, spending on X, Y, Z thing, technology will influence human life with great efficiency and efficacy. You use this 100%, you're going to boost your lexical resource. Reason, building new roads, this will improve quality of life, example Nigeria, and then will influence human life with great efficacy and efficiency. Body paragraph 1 and 2 are done. I've given you an optional statement. It's up to you. If you find it too much to write, you can just skip it. Now, body paragraph 3, the other side, contradicting side. Remember this thing. How do you start a contradicting paragraph? With words like on the other hand, on the contrary, however, although, in contrast to this, in spite of the fact spending on public services is crucial, the importance of theater or arts cannot be ignored. So this is how you'll start your paragraph, then you'll explain it, second sentence, third will be your example, and fourth will be your conclusion. Let's see what we have got for arts. In spite of the fact that allocating resources towards public health is crucial, the importance of value that arts bring to a nation cannot be ignored. So, opening sentence, that yes, the importance of value or how arts can benefit a country cannot be ignored. To explain this further, arts can not only complex sentence. Arts can not only help to connect and learn about the past, but can also aid in boosting tourism, generating revenue and livelihood for many engaged in this field, or you can say employed in this field. So I'm saying that yes, I've said that public health is important, but you cannot ignore arts, because it can not only help you to learn about your history, but can also help in tourism, in revenue, and can give jobs and livelihood to many. India is a perfect example of this scenario, where investing in arts has greatly attracted tourists from all around the world, boosting the economy. So I've added this word over here just to make my sentence sound better. This is an optional sentence here. You can write it, you can leave it as well. Also, another reason, arts, including music and theater, is a form of entertainment for many and helps to relieve mental stress and tension. Or what you could have done is, to explain this further, arts can not only help to connect and learn about the past, relieving mental stress, or helping in relieving or helping to relieve mental stress, but can also aid in boosting tourism, generating revenue and livelihood. So you could have added your, or I could have added my idea over here, but if you write a separate sentence, that's fine, but make sure you don't go too long because you have limited time. Therefore, arts play an important role in the regulation of the economy. Instead of country, I've used economy as well as well-being of individuals in many aspects. So this phrase, the last phrase, you can use in any positive context again. Please note this down. I have researched a lot. I have worked upon this, and that's how I've came up with all the structure. What you need to do is introduction, first sentence, paraphrase the topic statement, thesis as it is. Then you have got BP1, BP2 means body paragraph 1 and 2. You write about the side you're taking and explain the same. You frame around, or you write it on 4 to 5 sentences: opening sentence, explanation, example, conclusion. And then body paragraph 3, other side, use contradicting sentences or phrases to start. On the other hand, in spite of something like this, then you explain it, give an example, and conclude it. Now we are almost done. We have to write a conclusion, 1 to 2 sentences, simple. We'll just paraphrase whatever we have discussed in the body paragraphs and introduction. You don't have to add anything new. You don't have to present any kind of new idea when it comes to your conclusion. Let's have a look at the conclusion as well. Um, what we have got in conclusion, how to write the first sentence. You can say to conclude, to draw the conclusion, to encapsulate. You can say to taking everything into consideration, in can be concluded that, or in conclusion. And then second sentence, which is optional, which will be explanation of this first sentence, therefore, hence, so, thus. To conclude, in order to see what I have discussed, first of all, have a look over here. I have to conclusion, we have to just take everything into account what we have discussed in BP 1, 2, and 3. Over here, we talked about education, transportation, and in body paragraph 3, we discussed about um, employment, history, mental stress. To conclude, in order to improve quality of life, develop the nation, and increase happiness among the public, the government must allocate more resources. That's what I told you about my side in thesis statement, towards public services such as education and transportation as compared to arts. This will enhance the quality of human life in all aspects without causing any harm. This last sentence you can use in any conclusion, any of your essay. Conclusion number 2. To conclude, even though investing in arts is of great importance, I have to make it very clear in conclusion as well what side I'm on. Even though, despite that arts is of great, or investment in arts is of great importance, the positives or benefits the public services bring, such as better quality of life. See, quality of life, I told you about this in BP1, development of the nation, BP2, and increased happiness cannot be ignored. Thus, the government should allocate more resources. I'm not just saying should allocate all the resources, because I'm saying arts is of somewhat importance as well, but public services is more important, should allocate more resources towards public services as compared to arts. And that is it. We are done. First sentence, paraphrase. Then we have got our thesis statement. First sentence, opening idea, explanation, example, optional statement, conclusion. Then we have got same thing here, contradicting para, and 2 sentence conclusion. And that is it. We are done with to what extent do you agree or disagree. So what you need to focus on, 30 minutes, give yourself time, 2 or 3 minutes in the beginning, analyze the topic statement, see what you're supposed to do, identify the type of essay, because if you mess that up, you are going to frame incorrect body paragraphs, you are going to focus on the wrong aspects, and that is going to harm you big time. Remember this thing. Be careful with your marking criteria. You need to answer everything for task achievement. You need to make sure you use connectors and phrases for your coherence and cohesion. And after that, you need to make sure you avoid repetition wherever possible. Don't overuse synonyms. in such a way that they don't even make any sense. And lastly, range of sentences, as I've told you, explanation sentence in BP 1, 2, and 3, you can frame a complex sentence. You can add an interrogative sentence as well, but it's not necessary. And then you need to make sure whatever you're writing, it's grammatically correct as well. If you're not really sure, avoid writing or framing a sentence, because if you don't frame it, you won't really have that you won't really give examiner a chance to deduct your points. If you're not really sure how to structure it, leave it and structure it in a simple manner. Yes, I won't really ask you to do or write everything in a form of simple sentence, but where you are not sure or where you are likely to mess up, it's better not to write it. So that is it from this video. If you think the video was helpful, do like, share, and subscribe. And do let me know in the comment section what topic you want me to cover in the upcoming videos. I am trying to give my 100% to help you guys out. But if you find the video helpful, if you think this is going to help you, do let me know in the comment section and do share it with your friends, so that I get that motivation and I bring a lot of content for you. If you need any help, you can contact us on one of these numbers or visit our website for more information. Varun from Language Academy. I'll see you very soon. Thank you for watching till the very end.